Greetings, my Israelite brothers and sisters, heirs, joint heirs, adopted, grafted, natural, spiritual. How are you? How are you? Just tuning in right now. See how everybody is doing and all of that good stuff. And I haven't done a car cam in a few, so I thought I would just touch base and see how everybody is doing. And all that good stuff. So I see a couple of you all are jumping inside of the chat room. How are you? Button. I just, no particular title. I just called this car cam. I just wanted to say hello to our subscribers and stuff like that. And number one, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for making this channel what it is. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving me your feedback and all of that stuff. It's very important. I'm looking forward to the High Point Great Gathering Hebrew Conference that's being put on by the 7-Day Harvest Teaching Ministries down there with Elder Douglas. He is putting together a phenomenal conference. Just the lineup of musicians and singers that he's going to have in conjunction with the teaching. And it's just exciting. It's just going to be very exciting, and a 3-day weekend of just fulfillment and enrichment. So I can't wait for it. Don't forget to hit this like button. If you all won't know anybody in that Tri-County area, Charlotte, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, send it to them. Go on this channel, get one of the 1 minute and 5 second promotions that we do on the High Point Great Gathering Hebrew Conference, and send it to them. Again, this has been put on by the 7-Day Harvest Teaching Ministry, and they're doing a great job down there. They're going to be opening up. I'm excited for them, excited for what Minister Douglas is doing over there, teaching the truth, bringing a lot of people into the truth. This is a great awakening just to see what's taking place right now. It's very good. There's a lot of awakening taking place. In North Carolina, this is an area that has Charlotte within an hour drive, Greensboro 20 minutes, Winston-Salem 20-30 minutes, right there in High Point itself. So there's just a lot going on in that area, and a lot of truth, a lot of people being exposed to the truth over there. And so it's a good opportunity. In 2019, I just believe that a lot of people are going to be awakened as to who we are. And the reason is because we have more people that are exposing the truth other than the people of the book. You got Miko Palid, who is from Israel, sharing historical information about the Balfour Declaration and the Berlin Conference, and you got books like Arthur Kessler, the 13th Tribe, and you got so many people that are just sharing the information that, along with the scholastic information that we're going to be having there. Brother Benaiah Israel is doing a phenomenal job. He's going to be sharing the scholastic information that he has put together. I want to commend Sister Tia up in Philadelphia for doing the research that she's doing on behalf of the conference. We're going to be sharing some new information there, and she has been able to give us the information that we need to compose the illustrated slides that we're going to be doing. So it's just great. This year, I want to expose a lot more people to the truth. I want to expose people to idolatry, the Roman Christianity and what it means, and the difference between what Christianity was intended to be. But as Israel, we're going to have to take the name and we're going to have to wash it up, clean it up, because it's more of a name that means I believe in the Messiah. When you know that the Messiah, or another word you can say is Christian, or I'm a Christian because I believe in the Messiah. Christ is not a name, it is a title, it's a mission. And that's a different subject, different lesson, a different time. And I like this year, one of my personal goals is to connect more with a lot more of other people that know the truth, but although we may have some differences, I think it's important to work with people, although you have some differences of understanding the scriptures. Because one of the things we need to do is we need to be open to engaging in dialogue more than criticizing and fighting and debating with each other, because I believe that the feast days should start this date and another person believes that the feast days start on that date. We need to get beyond those differences, and we need to be Israel. We need to sit down and have dialogue, communication, and we need to identify what are the things that we identify, what are the things that we agree upon, and let's work with that. Let's work together. We don't have to be, we don't have to go to each other's houses for cookouts and all like that, but basically we need to be able to sit down that if we're in an open forum, we know how to engage each other with respect. And that's one of my objectives for 2019, is to be able to have dialogue with other people of the book, although we may not have the same understanding of something, because I'm not going to act like I know it all. And I'm always open to see things from a perspective. Maybe there's a precept that I didn't add in. Maybe there's a precept that they didn't add in. And we have to do that. And we have to do that anyway, because some of us, or some of you, I'm fortunate that my spouse understands the truth. She understands the situation with Christmas and Easter and eating clean. But the reason why I say we need to do this anyway is because you may have a spouse or another family member that may not have the exposure that you have with the scriptures. And so you need to learn how to have dialogue rather than to cut people off and say, oh, I can't deal with you. You know, that approach is really not biblical. It's not spiritually accepted. It's not a part of the fruits of the Spirit, and it's what you're doing on your own. It's not godly. It's not biblical at all. I remember that there was a situation over in Acts the 15th chapter where the apostles and the scribes and Pharisees, they wasn't quite seeing. Simply said to each other, they said, let's take this before the council. Let's go sit down with the other elders. Let's see what we can do to talk about this. So what did they do? They had dialogue. They had dialogue. They didn't split and say, well, you know what? You go do your thing and I'm going to do my thing. That type of conflict resolution is not going to happen. That's my objective. And this is not a New Year's resolution, so because I don't go with this 2019 resolution. The first month of the year is Abib. But I'm just putting that in line with the perspective that one of the things that I want to do is to make sure that I'm able to sit down and engage and have dialogue and fruitful discussion with individuals in light of the fact that we may have a difference of opinion. Because this is the scripture, you're going to say that's the scripture. I'm saying let's sit down and say, wow, you know what? I didn't see it that way. Let me see why you see it this way. Is there a precept that I'm missing? Here's where I got that from because of this precept, that precept. Is there something that I left out? Let's sit down and talk. Let's get some coffee. Let's sit down and get some tea. Let's talk about it. So that's what we have to do as Israel, natural, spiritual. That's what we have to do. Thanks some of you all for coming into the room. Don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate that very much. So this is what we have to do. You may have to do this with your spouse and loved ones that you're bringing into the truth and say, listen, let me get what you're talking about regarding Christmas. Because, what I've read and what I've come across, that the birth of Christ is not in the scriptures. Can you show me where you're getting that from? Well, it's not in there. Wow, so did you have this information where Christmas came from, that it's a pagan connection? Let me show this to you. So this is how you have to dialogue with people. With love and kindness have I drawn thee, because when we start to come at each other, you're definitely going to go this way. You're definitely going to go opposite directions. And the scripture says, come, let us reason together. And we have to. And we have to do that. So thank you all for tuning in on this one. And I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you all tuning in. I really appreciate your support through Patreon. I really appreciate that. If you haven't had a chance to do that, and if it's on your heart to do so, to help us continue this, especially our Zoom expenses and our staff that we use in the background, editing and recording and doing all of that for us when we do our Sabbath lessons and Bible study lessons. Just go to patreon.com and just put in Pastor Johnson, all one word, and appreciate whatever, $2 a month, $5 a month, whatever you can do. It goes a long way. And of course, those of you that are able to go and do that with Patreon, I try to do something a little bit extra with that, because that is a network that I'm working with Patreon, wherein those individuals that sign up, I want to be able to do and create a newsletter for you all. I want to be able to give you all access to the lessons. I want to be able to give you notification. And of course, anybody can ask for that. I'm going to give that to you. But when you're on the Patreon, it creates a database where I can send it at one time to everybody and just do things like that. So I appreciate that. So with that being said, thank you for the likes for this one. And I'm looking at the time. I want to keep this around 15 minutes. And thank you again for tuning in. And don't forget, every Sabbath at 1 o'clock p.m., tune into this channel, and you'll be able to catch this Sabbath lesson live. So thank you all for doing that. My email address is Bethel, Bethel, houseofgod@gmail.com. That's all one word, Bethel, houseofgod@gmail.com. Bethel, houseofgod@gmail.com. So peace, shalom, all of that great stuff, and we'll talk soon.